So in this video, we'll be developing a script with the following concept. So I might make this 2 to 3 videos, but let's see how far we get. So here's the concept. We have a portfolio of assets, so that can be equities or cryptocurrencies or ETFs, and then the idea is to run a report that provides the value of the asset holdings at the time of reporting. So if you run the report now and then in 2 hours, the value of your assets will be updated as the value of your assets fluctuate over time. So the idea is to always be able to get a live value or live statement of the value of your assets. So we'll be doing that. Okay, this is more or less the data flow or the data pipeline that we'll be working with. You can see we've got data source 1, data source 2, data source 3. Data source 1 is our portfolio that contains our assets and also how many units of each asset we have. That will then be formatted slightly to extract the necessary information. And for this script, we'll focus on crypto prices. So we've got equities and crypto and ETNs and ETFs and alternative investments, but we'll be focusing on crypto for this one. So after formatting, we know which cryptocurrencies we want the value for. Then we can extract the individual prices for our different cryptocurrencies, and from there we aggregate that information along with the dollar-rand exchange rate, which will convert our asset holdings into rands, and then we can run a reporting script which will format that information for us. So let's start at the beginning. We've got our portfolio in Excel. This can easily be in a database somewhere, and perhaps I'll make a video in the future demonstrating extracting the information from a MySQL database. So let's start. I've got a folder called test folder, and we'll be extracting our information from that Excel sheet. Example portfolio.xlsx. So let's import that. As you can see here, I've been doing some work on that. So let's go. Let's read xlsx. Let's get that folder file. Let's just add these escape characters. Okay, test folder. Paste that in there. Now let's have a look at this example portfolio sheet. Okay, so the way this is set up is we've got a tab for each different asset class. So we will need to keep it in mind when we import the data from the sheet. So we'll be focusing on crypto, so we can see our crypto is spelled there, and we can check out the format once we've imported that. So sheet, if I'm not mistaken, let's just check. Sheet, yeah, all names are true. Okay, that should do it. Let's put that into a, let's call it crypto portfolio. Right. Now we can have a look at this. Pretty straightforward. We've got our the code for our coin, and we've got the units of each coin that we own. Let's just check that the units are numbers. So you can see that's numeric, so that's fine, because we will need that to compute some values. Okay, so the part that we are interested in is the code, because we need that code in order to get the price. So we've got a couple of options for getting the price online. The first is an API, and the second is to just scrape it from a website. So I've looked into this a bit, and a problem that I came across is that for coins like Phil, which is Filecoin, and Pervex, I think, the exchanges for which I used APIs did not have those coins. So I decided to just go the route of scraping these prices, and it's pretty straightforward. So let's just do that then. Let's go harvest, I think. Yeah, just do that for now. So I've decided to use Coinbase. So Coinbase was a pretty straightforward example. I think it was Coinbase. Let's see. Okay. I've actually got an example here. So I didn't use Coinbase, I used CoinMarketCap. So let's CoinMarketCap was more up to date. Okay, so you've actually got dimmed. So the idea is that we're going to use the URL, and here we can see we've got the price of Dent, which is one of the coins we're using. Let's add that URL there. That FP stands for first page, so then we'll just read that. And then let's name this price. So let's get HTML text. I think it's HTML nodes. Node. Right. I'm going to use FP there. I might need to go back and look at some documentation, but let's see if this works. Export. Okay, let's see. So we want this price over here. Right. Let's see what we can find. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. What we can do is just look for this div. So div with class. So export equals div. Right, so let's see if that gives us what we need. Yes, it does. Perfect. So essentially what we've done now is we've loaded this HTML. We've looked at the HTML and we've extracted the div with this class, and by inspecting this HTML, we're able to identify uh, where this price is sitting within the HTML. Okay, so that should work for other coins as well. So let's try PrivX. PrivX. There you go. Okay, as you can see, all we need to do is change this last word from dent to PrivX. So let's see, PrivX $1.28, and there we go. So that's working. So now what we need to do is we need to get a price for each of these coins. A very tedious way of doing this would be to copy this code, which is obviously just the incorrect way to do it. What I'm going to do is loop, but we're going to use lapply. And in order to do this, let's first of all see if we're using the URL over there. See. So we can just copy that and paste it there, right? Then we don't need this for now. And if you're here, we're using it over there, so let's just copy and paste that into the place of FP, right? Then we don't need that. Okay, so now by just running this, we can get the price of whatever coin we plug in here, right? Now, how are we going to loop across all the coins? Well, first of all, we need to get the names of all the coins, and we would do that. So we put the portfolio, and we need the code. Right? So that we're going to loop through these 5 codes and plug them in here. Right? So let's see if we can use lapply. Okay. Going to go to portfolio code. Let's go to function with x, and we're going to plug x in here. We're going to paste this together, right? I'm going to paste this in here. That's one. I'm going to plug x in there. Okay. Great. That should be fine. Let's see what we get. Let's see. Unexpected symbol. What is our problem? Okay, there we go. That might be a problem. Let's close this out. What do we get? Error in open connection. Okay, that means we're not finding something. So let's test this out. Let's test this out. Right? Let's use this. Okay, so we know dent and perfect works. Let's try mana. So FP Well, I suppose we need to copy all of this, right? I think we've got 2 brackets there. And all we're actually going to do is plug mana in there. So we don't need these 2, right? Let's run that. Okay, so mana is giving us a problem. Why? Let's plug mana in here. And I suspect I know why. There we go. So the URL for mana doesn't use the word mana, it uses the word Decentraland. So that's something we are going to need to keep in mind when we're recording our assets, is that they need to adhere to the structure that the, let's call it the exchange, the structure that the exchange is using. So instead of mana, let's just go with Decentraland. Right. Yeah, so if we replace this with Decentraland, it should work. Decentraland. There we go. Okay. So now we know Dent works, we know mana works, we know Perfect works. Let's see if Pyro and let's just make sure that we've corrected that. Okay, nice. Let's see what we get. Okay, still getting some errors. Pyro and 4. Let's check it out. Pyro works, so it must be 4. So okay, so we've identified the coin FIL file coin. The URL must be incorrect. Let's check that out. FIL filecoin, and they just use the word filecoin instead of the code FIL. So let's just go in and change that. Filecoin. Great, that should work. Import that. Okay, we've got filecoin, we've got Decentraland, and we know Dent, Pivx, and Pyro works. So let's see. Those are unused connections, those are just warnings. Okay, so now we've got our 5 prices. Great. I suppose that's step 1, right? Don't need that, that's testing. Call that testing. Okay, got our prices. What's next? So we've got the portfolio, we've used the formatting script just to extract the codes of the assets, and then we've got our crypto prices. So let's aggregate some data, right? We need to have the name of the coin, the name of the asset, how many units we own, and multiply that by the price, right? So in price, we can see at the moment that's a character. It's a list. If we can unlist that, right? That gives us a vector. And what is the class of that? That should be a character, right? So let's turn that into a number. Okay. Let's see. Why am I getting that? Why am I getting an X? Okay, here we go. Because we've got a dollar sign in there. Let's take that dollar sign out. Got two options. You can substitute a dollar sign with an empty string, or we can just extract everything after the dollar sign. Let's do that. So we're going to use substring plus the first and second character. The last is the number of characters. So that would be in this case 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it will just be the number of characters. So from the second character, so it will be from here, from the 0 up until however number of characters are, so there are 9, so from 2 up until 9. In this case it will be from 2 up until 2, 4, 6, from 2 up until 6. So let's check that. Perfect. So that just removes the dollar sign. That's fine. Okay. Perfect. Let's store a character. Let's see as .numeric works. Perfect. So now we can turn it into a number. Let's do that over here. As .numeric. Okay. Nice. So let's do that. We've got the characters with dollar signs, and then we've got the numeric version of our prices. I wonder if there is a better way to do this. If I use as numeric and substring, right? That's the second bracket. If I'm going to use substring over here, I'm going to use this. That's my X. I'm going to use 2. I'm going to use inchar. Now that's a problem. But I'm going to add this entire thing. Right? I suppose we can do it in 2 steps for now. I might try to fix that a bit later. Okay, right. Got our prices. Now, let's look at crypto. We've got our code, we've got our units. I say let's add another field called price, and we will call that price, right? So that should align. Got our coin, we've got our units, and we've got our price. The next step should be easy. Crypto portfolio, let's call that total value, and that will be our crypto portfolio units multiplied by crypto portfolio price. Let's check that out. Right. So that should give us the dollar value. So there you can see code, units, price, and total value. Right. And then finally, that's in dollars. So let's get the rand value. Let's just get the exchange rate through an API. So I've looked at a couple of these. I'm not sure which one I ended up using. This one says free, so it wasn't this one. Or was it? Let's have a look here. I think I used this one. Okay. Request specific exchange rates by setting the symbols parameter. Let's try this one. Okay. Let's see if this works. So for this, need that, but also we need to HTTPR, I think. Let's see what this gets us. Okay, good, we've got some data there. So let's get that. P rate. Okay, we've got that. We need to get this. It's probably in JSON. Is usually okay. I've done this. I'm going to look at some old code. Let's see if I can do this. Let's go. Go to chart. Pretty sure I used that. Okay, so that should be correct. Okay, let's do $rand. Let's see if that works out. Yes. Okay, and then let's go from JSON all caps. Okay, there we go. Right. This gives us rates for the rand and rate for the US dollar. The base is euro. Why is the base euro? I mean, as long as we have the rand and the US dollar, we can probably calculate. So dollar rand exchange rate is about 15. If we take 18,1498 divided by 1.2553. Okay, so that should do it. So we're going to divide the euro rand by the euro dollar, and that should give us the rand dollar exchange rate. So this is a list, right? Yeah. So let's unlist that. Okay. Maybe we can unlist it from here. Okay. So let's go E rate 1 divided by E rate 2 is E rate 1, which is the rand exchange rate, divided by E rate 2. And this is not going to work because the E rates are characters. Let's go numeric. Let's see if that works. Yes, image introduced, that's fine. Perfect. So now we've got our dollar rand exchange rate, and what we're going to do is we are going to multiply our dollar value of the total value multiplied by our exchange rate in order to get the rand value, right? So we can actually do this in the beginning somewhere. Right, and then we create the total value column, which can actually then be in the same line multiplied by our exchange rate. So let's see what happens here. Let's run all of this. And see what we plotted. Okay. That seems right. So we've got our rand value. Maybe we should add an R in front of the total value. Let's just go paste 0, add an R. Okay. And let's, what we're going to do, let's round this off. I'm not sure that's right. That's the correct function. Let's check. So it looks like round is the correct function. So round x and digits, right? I'm assuming that digits are the number of digits. Put paste round. Digits. Let's see what this gives us. Okay, perfect. It rounds our values to 2 decimals. So if we, here we go. Got our total value in rands, we've got 2 decimals. And from this point on, we can put this into a report. So I think we'll save the report for next time. But let's make this a bit neater, right? Let's comment some stuff. So let's call that get exchange get an API, and let's provide that okay read set information from cell to also the database. This was just for some testing. We can actually take this out. Yeah, we've got this code, so let's make it neat, right? What we're doing here, extracting the prices for the assets, and then formatting those prices a bit, like extract asset prices, format asset prices, right? Aggregate data. So that's a very quick script that we have done, just to take an input of assets and then output. Let's have another look at that. Let's print crypto. Don't want to execute the libraries again. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so that, as you can see here, our data frame. This gives us the code, the units that we own. So these two fields were extracted from our Excel sheet. The prices we obtained from scraping the website, and the total value was calculated using the exchange rate and also multiplying the price by the units, right? So now we can use that to put it into a nice little report. The idea is that you would go through this process for each tab. So for each asset class you would have this, and then that would be integrated into a report. So perhaps for the next video we could do a different asset class and then also the reporting. I think in that case we'll use R Markdown. We could even make a shiny app, but that's for the next video. So in this video what we've done is we've got a portfolio of assets. We've extracted the prices for those assets, and then we've aggregated that information to give us the current value of our portfolio. What we haven't done now actually is calculated what our total crypto assets are worth. So let's just create a variable total crypto assets, right? And that would essentially be this. That should be right. Right, let's just check that out. What we're going to do is we're just going to sum that. Let's see. Yes, that should be correct. Let's just paste an R in front of that. I'm not sure if we're going to get decimals here. Yeah, let's just round that off quickly. There we go. Great. Which is best 0. Okay. And now we've got our total value asset also. And crypto. Let's print our total crypto assets. Now, final time. So what we've got is our individual value of our assets and also the total value of our assets. In the next video, we'll create the report in order to display this information.